we're going to start off with Michigan Wolverines because they're currently under investigation. So, back in October 19th, the Big Ten announced an investigation into Michigan's alleged sign stealing operation. The investigation centered around team staff member Connor Stallions, who allegedly purchased tickets for more than 30 college football games over the past 3 years and sent people to those games. Those people allegedly filmed the coaching staff and sideline of one of the team's entire game in apparent attempt to determine the team's play calling and signals. When you look at this guy, I mean, you would think he was part of the staff. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if players was like, yo, coach, what's the next play that we running? That's how well he blended in. Now, after the investigation, Stallion was temporarily suspended but later resigned from his job. As far as the NCAA policy goes, scouting future opponents in person has been banned since 1994. Now, what happened with Michigan moving forward? Jim Harbaugh has been suspended the next 3 games. He's eligible to run practices, but he cannot be on the field on game day or anywhere near the teams when they take the field, but may be eligible to return to the sidelines if they make it to the college playoffs. They're currently ranked number 3 in the college football playoff standings or rankings. They just defeated number 10 Penn State 24-15 without their head coach, and they're slated to play Maryland and Ohio State, which is also an undefeated team, and they'll play those games without Jim Harbaugh. Now, one thing to note is that Stallion said that Harbaugh had no knowledge of what was going on, and Harbaugh also claims he had no knowledge of these things as well. Now, it's one thing to mark. This is the second time this season that Harbaugh has been suspended for 3 games. He served a 3-game school-imposed suspension to start the season in connection with a separate NCAA investigation involving alleged recruiting violations. So, my question to you is, do you agree that Harbaugh should be suspended? And should the Michigan Wolverines be disqualified for the coach's alleged behavior when it comes to the college playoff rankings?
I don't think they should be disqualified, the whole Wolverine team, but
Okay.
I definitely believe he should be suspended because he oversees everything. Just like
Hmm.
Rick Pitino, I believe, got in trouble for something he claimed he didn't know. And you need to know this. Like, if you're running everything, you need to know what your people are doing. You're the one that hired them. When you're doing interviews, you need to make sure you're really digging into you have to dig when you're doing interviews. You got to know, does this person have outstanding like upstanding character, or are they just
Hmm.
someone who will try to Bill Belichick you? You need to know this because it's going to fall on you. So I feel like he should get suspended, 3 games. And I
Hmm.
like the fact that they allow him to practice, like, still train the kids, because the kids shouldn't miss out on that. They should still get the training, but he shouldn't be on the field because it looks bad for the whole program. It looks terrible. So at first, when I first heard they were going to suspend him, or they did, I didn't like that, especially the fact that they didn't really do their due diligence to,
Yeah,
like, they
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
go through the
yeah,
whole process. So that's like, that's my only problem with it. I feel like you should do that first and then suspend them. But to do that before, you suspend them before you did like you did the whole investigation, that's where I
yeah.
think it's foul. Like, that's the only problem I have with it. How
Now,
about
let
you?
me let me ask you this, because
Mhm.
you said you don't think the team should face any consequences. Because for me, before I even ask you that, I do agree with him being suspended because, like you said, at the end of the day, he is the overseer. But
Mhm.
the part that I give pushback is, unfortunately, the students or not the organization, but the school itself should face some kind of penalties or consequences. And I'm sorry, but it kind of has to trickle down to the students. Why? Because if this scandal was going on, what does that say to the other teams who are also playing? Like, is it fair to them? Like, I understand we're saying it's not fair to these students and they had no knowledge, but you still kind of benefited from it, you know? So, how is that fair to the other students who, from other schools that went through the straight and narrow, and now they can't get into the college playoffs with this scandal and everything going on?
See, I feel there should be some type of benefit the other teams get, but
Hmm.
I don't. If I'm on a program and my coach is cheating and I don't know anything about it, and this can affect my whole career moving forward, whether it's me going to a
Yeah,
job that has nothing to do with whatever it is, if I feel like that's wrong. Like, I
yeah,
didn't tell this guy to do this, and it can jeopardize my whole career, like my whole family's career, and it's like, that's not. I think that's terrible.
I got you. I got you. Like, it sucks because I can't really think of a happy medium. Because, like you said, it's like if I'm working for a company and my boss is doing corrupt things and I didn't know about it, why should I go to jail or face penalties too? You get what I'm saying? But on the flip side too is even though you may know these teams' plays, at the end of the day, you still got to stop them. It's
Exactly.
kinda like you knew Mike Tyson was gonna had the uppercut in his bag. The question is can you actually defend yourself from said uppercut when it comes?
Exactly.
You knew Randy Moss was gonna go on to over the top of the defense. Can you stop him when that ball is coming? You know,
Exactly.
so you still gotta look at that aspect of, yo, you may know what's coming, but do you have the skills to stop what I'm gonna do?
Yes.
So it's like it's a mixed bag. And at the end of the day, these aren't professionals. You get what I'm saying? So that's where it's like, dag, man, this is kind of, so I get where you're coming
They're
from.
they're getting paid. They're getting paid now.
They
So
are, they are, but they're still not considered professionals.
okay. Okay.
Yeah, they're still not considered professionals because at the end of the day, man, if I was getting the bucks that the NFL was I'll just stay in college and you know what I
Exactly.
mean? Be in college for 6 years playing football.
You know what I mean? Why not? Straight
So
up.
yeah, for real. But yeah, it's like I hope they find a happy medium though, so that it's fair to everybody. Unfortunately,
It
because
looks like they've been cheating for a while though, just because I was like running down their seasons. They
3
were terrible, and all of a sudden they just was like almost undefeated
yeah,
every year. And
yeah,
it's like,
yep, yep.
so I believe they were cheating 100%.
Yeah, I agree. They benefited off of it. They definitely benefited off of it.
Yeah.
But we're gonna see the real test when they play Ohio State because that team right there, Ohio State, is like they just destroyed Michigan State 38-3.
Wow.
So yeah, so they're no nonsense, man. They're a no nonsense team. So we'll see how that goes coming up to see if they're the real deal. And
Mm.
Desmond Howard was saying too, though, like the reason why their record did improve because Desmond Howard used to go to Michigan, like he's an alumni, and he was saying like, yo, Jim Harbaugh was hiring NFL coaches to put on the staff the last 3 years. So that's why you saw the vast improvement. So again, it goes back to saying, like, yo, could it be the cheating, so to speak, or could it be the coaching staff? But at the end of the day, you still have to stop the team, even
Yeah.
if you know what's coming. So
Yeah. Good point.
it's bonkers. I say this though, man. If they want to know if it's beneficial, just ask Bill Belichick.
For real.
I've already covered it.
Maybe Belichick could cue us in on what's going on here.
But from what they say, everybody's cheating. Everybody in the
Yeah.
league is.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Last question on this topic, and then we'll switch gears.
Okay.
Do you feel they should take that rule out? Because at the end of the day, when you have caught like like film, you still can literally watch the sidelines and see their play. Like you get what I'm saying? You still have an over field view if you're watching the tapes and doing your scouting on the team that you're gonna play.
See,
So do you feel it's the same thing or it might be
I
different?
think it's a little harder to see everything, like, to really when you're focused
Okay.
in on just that person that's who's calling the
Hmm.
plays, I feel like you do have more
Got you.
advantage.
Got you. Got you. Especially if you got a lot of people working on it. All right, you just film this person.
Mhm.
I'll film what's going on the field, and we just put two and two together and go from
Exactly.
there. So, all right, I got you.
Hey, that's that locker room talk right there.
This was Locker Room Talk.
Hey, that's that locker room talk right there.
This was Locker Room Talk.